Hello guys, welcome back to SWS Boxing. Delighted to get on Dan Garber. Today we're doing the predictions of the big fight this weekend, the undisputed light heavyweight title fight between Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol. And yes, it's a good card, and yeah, good to get you on for the predictions, Dan.
Oh, cheers, Matt.
And yeah, so well, not in order because I don't know the running order as of yet, but we've got Mohammed Al Alikul. Don't know how probably said his name totally wrong, to be honest, but it's his debut. He's boxing Jesus Gonzalez from Colombia, who's 3-2. Mohammed's making his debut. He trains out of the Gallagher's gym. And I don't know too much about his amateur background and stuff, but you know, you've got to be good to train with Joe Gallagher. And yeah, I believe he's from Riyadh as well. And well, he's from Saudi Arabia, and it's, you know, you don't see many fighters from Saudi Arabia fighting on the cards. And of course it is in Riyadh as well. So it's good to see somebody from Saudi Arabia boxing on the card.
It is, yeah. He's actually from Saudi Arabia then.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Yeah, I mean, if Joe Gallagher's taking him on, he must have something about him. And probably got an opponent with it being his debut, you know, for him to look good. And I mean, I don't know too much about him either, to be honest with you. But if he's with Gallagher's and he's fighting on a show like that for his debut, then he must be a bit of a talent.
Yeah, 100%. His opponent, well, I saw him on the pads, you know, but you can't really go into too much on that.
No.
But
No.
yeah, his opponent looked quite sharp on the pads. I've seen his opponent box once before. That was, I think it was on it might have been on the Babbitt Fischer card, or might have been Denny Cash. But I've seen him. He was against Ibrahim Suleiman, and he got stopped. He'll be bang up for this one, but I think Mohammed should get the job done wide on points. It's only a 4-rounder.
He's got a winning record as well, hasn't he? So, yeah, probably be coming to win, and they are tough guys as well from South America. But for his debut, they've probably got someone in who's tailor-made for him. So, yeah, you'd expect a pretty dominant performance from him, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Next fight we'll talk about is it's a bit of an interesting one, this, in my opinion. You've got 10 rounds light heavyweight, Ben Whittaker 8-0, v Liam Cameron 23-6. Last time out, Liam Cameron fought Lyndon Arthur, which was a split decision defeat. And Ben Whittaker fought on the Selhurst Park card and beat Ezra Erenika on points.
Yeah, I mean, I know he gets a lot of criticism, Ben Whittaker, but I think he's a special talent, to be honest with you. I think he's probably the most talented fighter, naturally talented fighter we've got in UK. I know a lot of people don't like him, he's showboating and stuff, but everybody's talking about him, aren't they? So, you know, it puts bums on seats. And
I mean, I'm one of those fans who's not particularly a Ben Whittaker fan, but, you know, to be honest, he is one of the best prospects out there.
100%. I mean,
he's good to. It's annoying, you know.
I know he's I know his old amateur coach from Great Britain set up. It's called Mally McIver, and he was saying, you know, when you meet the guy in real life, he's actually a really nice kid, and that it's just a persona that he puts on, and it gets people talking. You know, his ring antics as well get people talking. I mean, to be able to do what he does, he's very athletic. He has got natural ability, but yeah, you know, obviously when you go through levels, I mean, can you do that with the top guys? I don't know. He's getting away with it now, but I mean, Liam Cameron, obviously, you know, he's come back after his ban, and he put in a great performance against Lyndon Arthur. But
it was a good performance from him.
I'm not sure. I don't know what's wrong with Lyndon Arthur, because he is a very talented fighter, but I don't know. He seems to like go through the motions when he's fighting at times. You know, it's like, I don't know if he thought it was going to be too easy or whatever, but yeah, it was a bit of a surprise that. But I think Ben Whittaker, to be honest with you, it'll be I'd pick him to stop him, to be honest with you, in 6 or 7 rounds. If not, it's going to be a clear points win.
Yeah, I'm thinking that as well. But I think, it's more Ben than what might keep mixing my words up. But I mean, Ben Whittaker's he's quick, I think, you've got to be careful with a guy like Liam Cameron because he is gonna be wild.
Well, yeah, I think that's probably plays into Whittaker's hands, to be honest with you. He's so slick, he's sharp, he's fast, he can punch as well. I don't know, I can see it being tailor made for him, to be honest with you. And that's not taking out away from Liam Cameron because he's a former Commonwealth champion himself. But obviously, that ring inactivity won't have done him any good. And he's had a great performance in his last fight, obviously. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't know with Lyndon Arthur. He just seems to maybe he wasn't up for it, or is he slipping a little bit? I don't know. But yeah, he upset the odds there. But I expect Ben Whittaker, to be honest with you, to put on a dominant performance over there.
Yeah, you would think so, but I think Liam Cameron will be able to give him a few rounds and give him
Oh yeah,
not overly too much to think about, but little bits to think about.
yeah. I mean, Ben Whittaker's style is not going to be. He's not one of them who comes out 100 mile an hour trying to knock your head off or out like that or take you out. I don't think he's got that knockout power, but obviously he can punch hard enough to gain respect. But I just think he'll just basically output. It's going to be too slick for him. It'll be a bit of a beatdown, I think, to be honest. And I can see Liam Cameron's a tough man, and obviously he's a proud man. But I can just see he's either his corner pulling him out, maybe, or it being like I'd go for a 7 or 8 round stoppage.
That's what I was thinking, 7 and 8. But if I had to say a round, I'd probably go round 7, as it might get too much for Cameron. But I think he's a proud man, and he'll go out on his shield if he does.
100% he will. And I think he feels like obviously we're hard done by as well with that drug ban that he got. It was a bit silly, really, and he'll feel like he's got something to prove as well. And obviously, if he does win, well, obviously he moves on to bigger and better things. So he's going to be massively up for this fight. But I just think Ben Whittaker he's going to be a superstar.
Yeah, same. I think it's a good fight for Ben though. People wanting a good fight for Ben, and now it would be a good fight to see where he's at because Lyndon Arthur was a world champion not so long ago. So,
well, he boxed. He went 12 rounds with Beterbiev, didn't he, as well?
Bivol.
Oh, it Bivol. Sorry, yeah, Bivol like box, wasn't it? Yeah, my mistake. Yeah, he went 12 rounds with Bivol. So yeah, he's one of them. It's pretty hot and cold. It's like when he won the IBO title against the Mexican guy.
I think Argentina was it?
Was it Argentina? Yeah, I mean, he was losing that fight. He was quite a way down on the card. And I was watching it. I thought he hadn't turned up, and obviously he pulled that body shot out and stopped him.
Great shot as well, wasn't it?
It was. What a great shot. Obviously he's got a win over Yardy. So he's been stopped by Yardy as well. I think that were in a round.
I think Yard's boxing next week as well, actually.
Is it? Yeah, he is boxing. Yeah, he is boxing next week
on the Zim Davis show. But yeah,
but he just seems to be pretty hot and cold, does Arthur. But obviously, he's a few ways about that. But I think Whittaker they'll put on a good performance, and I reckon he's going to get the stoppage in 7 or 8 rounds.
Yeah. Next fight we're going to talk about is WBC World Featherweight title. The first women's fight that's actually on a Saudi Arabia card. So they're both making history between Sky Nicholson, you'd say the boxer of the two. She's only got the 1 KO. The Raven Chapman, who's the more come forward, aggressive fighter, who would try and push the pace.
Yeah, Sky Nicholson on points in that fight. I think she'll outbox her. She's a good tidy little boxer, to be fair. But yeah, I think it's a points win for her. Like you say, she's not a big puncher. It's not really her style. But yeah, I can see her putting on a bit of a shutout points win, to be honest.
I think it's a closer fight than people make it out to be. And, you see some people saying it's a heavy favourite for Sky. I understand why. But I think she hasn't fought anyone like Chapman who's going to be all action guns blazing at her, but she isn't a power puncher, Sky. She picks her shots quite nicely, sets her shots. She's a back foot fighter, but she can box and move quite nicely on the back foot. It's whether Raven can try and pin her down in this fight, but I've been debating this all week, but I'm going to edge to Sky Nicholson on points as well for this one.
Yeah, I think that's what it'll be as well. Points win.
But it'll be interesting to see if Raven gets it on the inside, how Sky can deal with it, because she hasn't really had anyone like Raven before.
Yeah, well, obviously she's going to be up for it. Obviously she'll want that world title, and obviously it's on a massive, massive platform as well. So she's going to want to put a good performance in. But I don't know, Sky Nicholson seems to be on a bit of a wave at the minute. She really is up there. She's on a good run. She's probably at a peak at the minute. So yeah, I see her winning on points.
It should be a decent fight to watch, that one.
Well, it's gone really quiet. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
It's not very loud now. It seems to have just gone. You sound. I can hear you, but it's just gone really, really low.
I don't know what that is. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you a bit. Yeah, I can hear you clear enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I said that should be an all right fight to watch.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's not. To be honest with you, I think she boxed on the same when I boxed over in Dublin. Was she on that? She was on that bill, wasn't she?
I think Sky was, yeah. She boxed Lucy Wildheart, I think.
Yeah, that way. Yeah, I think she stopped her in that fight. Yeah, I think that's her only stoppage, isn't it?
I'll double check. Yeah, it is. Yeah, 25th of November. That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, points win for her.
Yeah. This fight, Chris Eubank Jr., this is a big talking point sort of thing against Camille Zerameta. Probably said that wrong as well, but can't say it all right. I think Camille fought, I think it was Jaime Munguia and Golovkin actually. Those are his only two defeats.
Yeah. I think Eubank, well, I'd go for a Eubank stoppage.
You would think so.
Yeah, I think he'll want to put on a performance as well. But he's been out of ring for a while as well. He needs to get active again. So I reckon Eubank. Is that a 10-rounder or 12?
12. It says on BoxRec it's for the IBO world title, but I've seen the press conferences and there's no belt and when they're facing off and stuff. So I don't know if it is for the belt.
Yeah, I'd go for a mid to late stoppage for Eubank in that fight.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe around 8 stoppage for Eubank, but you would expect him to sort of make a statement, and if he's calling out the likes of Canelo, and if he wants to get to those fights where he's been calling people out, he needs to get a good performance in this fight.
Oh, he needs to get a move on now. He's, 34, 35? I think he's 35.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he needs to get a move on now if he's going to do what he's saying he wants to do.
Yeah. And that middleweight sort of, what's the word? When world title level, it's sort of open, isn't it?
At middleweight, yeah, because Canelo's up at super middleweight, isn't he? So
you've got Hamza Shiraz, Yanabek, and then
that's a good fight. I mean, I think Shiraz and Eubank, they've been talking about that. I mean, I think Shiraz is ranked number 1 now with WBC. I'd probably pick Shiraz to beat him, to be honest with you. He looks a bit of a talent.
That's a fight I think could be made. It'll be a good fight over maybe like headline at the O2. I mean, that's
it would, yeah. I mean, they'll both want to be put like fighting for world titles next. That's what they'll want to be doing. I think Shiraz will be.
I mean, not Denny. Shiraz got a good win against Denny for the European, and and Eubank. I'm not sure if it's for the IBO, but if so, he'll definitely want world title fights. Eubank and Shiraz, they're in line for Yanabek or Carlos Adams, I think it is.
Yeah, Eubank's held that title before. I mean, it's not one of the big 4, is it? So he's going to want to be
world title though.
yeah, he's going to want to be boxing for like a WBC or an IBF or a WBA or WBO. And
Yeah.
obviously Shearaz will be boxing for a WBC. I reckon he'll probably box for a WBC fight next, maybe. I know they'd offered him a Canelo fight, but Warren turned it down for him. He was saying I didn't think he was ready for it yet.
Yeah.
But he'll probably he's going to win he's going to win a world title there, and he's one of them who's going to step up through divisions. He'll go up to super middleweight pretty soon. He's
He's
massive
quite
for that
young
weight.
as well, isn't he, Shiraz? He's
I think he's 20. Is he 24 or something like that?
something like that, or maybe 25. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean he's 6'3", so he's massive foot weight as well. Yeah, because I can see him going up to super middleweight, and then maybe his eye is light heavyweight.
maybe. Um, Now we'll get on to the Wardley fight after this one. Opataya, 25-0, current IBF World Cruiserweight Champion. He's boxing Jack Massey, who's who was the European champion, and I believe he had the Commonwealth as well. And he last beat Chamberlain, and Opataya beat Breedis on the Fury Usyk card.
I'd pick Jay Opataya to stop him inside 5 rounds.
Yeah, I'm thinking that as well. I like Jack. I mean, I've watched him fight a few times and supported him for a while as well. But he keeps his shots nice and long. But I think it's a sort of too soon for Massey. And of course, I just think Opataya is levels above just pretty much everyone at cruiserweight. Billum Smith, Zerdo, they're good fighters, but I just think he's better than them.
Yeah, he looks special, does that Opataya, doesn't
he? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's been saying he wants to go up to heavyweight as well. So yeah, I think he'll beat Jack inside 5 rounds.
Yeah, I'm saying round 4, but it will definitely be in 5.
I'll go 5 then.
Fair enough. But well, who else is there for Opataya to fight if he does come through? Massey, the winner of the Billum Smith fight, and then what else could he do?
To be honest with you, I think he hammers anybody in that division. I think if he boxed Billum Smith, I think it'd be. I mean, he's a Billum Smith he's a decent fighter, but I don't think he's anywhere near what Opataya's level is, to be honest. I don't think any of them are in that division. I think he's so far ahead of them all in that division, to be honest with you.
So
he's so slick when he shoots that left hand as well.
He's a punch, that one.
Yeah, he's gonna. I mean, when he boxed Jordan Thompson, it were effortless. The way he walked through him. I mean, the levels between the two were just, it were massive. The gap in talent, and Jordan's a good fighter, obviously, but Opataya's world level, and I think he'll do well as an heavyweight as well when he moves up to that.
So do I. British heavyweight fight. Everyone likes a British title fight. It's the rematch. The first fight was a draw between Fabio and Fraser Clark. Firstly, who did you think won the first fight? Did you think a draw was fair in that one, or?
I mean, Wardley had the knockdown, didn't he? And they had the point deduction as well. Fraser Clark had a point taken off. So I think if you factor that into it, you couldn't really argue with a draw. If it weren't for the point deduction, I think, and the knockdown, obviously Clark would have won. But I think he'll kick himself because he had that fight there to be won, and I think he's had his chance now there. In that were his chance to beat him. I think Wardley now is gonna. I'm picking Wardley to beat him this time. I don't know if he's going to stop him. I mean, he's a tough man, is Clark, but I don't know if he's got the best engine. I mean, you've seen in that fight after the 12th round, he collapsed onto the floor. He could hardly stand up. He was exhausted. I just think Wardley's he's more athletic. He's a better athlete. He's probably learned a lot from that fight as well. And I just think Clark had his chance to beat him that night, and he didn't take it. So I'm going to go for Wardley in this one. Will he stop him? I'm going to go for a late stoppage.
Well, they both know they've got the ability to hurt one another, of course.
Oh yeah,
But,
100%. But I think in the fight, I think Wardley hurt Clark. I know he had the terrible cut and things like that. I mean, his
it
nose
was just
wasn't
the
broke.
nose though.
Yeah, he's
And
got a lot of
his
scar
nose
tissue
goes
around the
his
nose.
nose goes every fight though, doesn't it?
Every fight he has, it seems to go. Yeah, but he's got a lot of scar tissue on the bridge of it, and that's what he was saying. He was saying it looked a lot worse than what it was. It wasn't broken or anything. It was just a bad cut. So yeah, I think it's a big like when Wardley fought Adelaide on this platform as well.
Yeah.
He rose to the occasion, didn't he? And he did a number on Adelaide, and I think it'll be the same again. If he wants to go where he's saying he wants to go and be challenging for world titles and things like that, he has to beat Fraser Clark. And Fraser Clark's a great fighter, but how old's Clark now? 33. He's only had 9 fights. I think he stayed amateur a bit too long.
But
to be honest.
he had a great amateur career.
Well, yeah, he were an amateur fighter. He were always in shadows of Joshua and Joyce. He were always waiting to go to Olympics, and he finally got there. Obviously did great, won a medal, he's turned pro, and been a bit of a slow path for him. But, obviously he's up there now. But
to be honest, I'll be honest, I wasn't overly impressed with him in his fights pre of the first fight with Wardley. I wasn't, overly impressed.
no,
but I think that fight
I don't think
shot his
I think he stayed. You can't stay amateur too long, and then obviously when you transition over to the professional game, obviously it's totally different. And I think maybe he's just been in that setup a bit too long in Sheffield and things. And you look at Wardley, who's just come from an unlicensed background and just took to it. But Wardley's a good athlete. He's athletic, he's explosive. So yeah, he's a younger man as well. I'm picking Wardley in that fight, late stoppage.
I think it's a toss of the coin because I think they've both got power to hurt each other, and they did last time. Yeah, it will come down to who wants it more. They'll sort of fight how they left off. I can't expect much, if Fraser can sort of box, but I don't think he will. I think he'll stand and bang, and I can maybe see possibly they could put each other down, and I reckon it'll be like the last one, sort of a similar fight, but I reckon Wardley will edge it on points.
Yeah, it's probably, yeah. I mean, that's probably a safer bet. I just think I could see maybe him gassing out Clark. I think if Wardley, I think he's the fitter guy. If he steps the pace up and he'll put a pace where it's too maybe much for Clark, I could see him gassing out and Wardley getting a late stoppage.
Do you think the occasion could get a bit too Fraser as well?
Well, he's never been on a stage like this, has he? So Wardley has. So yeah, possibly. But it's also, I mean, for Clark, is it a must-win fight? I don't know. Obviously he could go back. He probably feels that he's beyond domestic level. If he loses, where does he go if he does lose? He ain't got a lot of time on his side, so he probably don't want to be hanging around at domestic level.
Do you think they're thinking? Do you think they'll go into the fight thinking it's round 13, or do you think they'll go into the fight like it's a brand new sort of fight?
Yeah, I think that I don't think they'll go. I think they're both maybe going to change. They probably both looked at that fight, and yeah, I think they'll change things up a little. But I can just see Wardley putting it on him a little bit more, to be honest with you, because when he did put it on him, he did hurt him. I think he hurt Clark more than Clark hurt him. So yeah, I think Wardley will up the tempo this time.
And you're saying towards the back end of the fight?
Yeah.
Fair enough. And the main event, all the marbles on the line. Beterbiev 20 KOs out of his 20 fights, and Dmitry Bivol 23-0.
I think Bivol gives him a boxing lesson over 12 rounds. I think it's a shutout for Bivol.
You're not giving Artur a chance in this?
Well, obviously he's got a chance the way he can punch, but I know he's well classed, but when I've watched Arthur, it's like when I seen him box Yard, it were a bit of a life and death for him. You know, at times he was struggling. I know his power got him through that fight. He was winning the fight, but there were some moments in there where he really was hurt. He's not like Bivol, who, you know, Bivol can move, he can box, he can counter. He's not a massive puncher, but he hits hard enough to get you respect. You know, he's got a good engine, and he's just got that textbook, that European style. And I can see him giving him a boxing lesson for 12 rounds, to be honest with you. I just think styles make fights, especially at that level, you know, when you're at elite level. And I can just see it being a shutout win. It was a bit like, I suppose if you go back years ago when Roy Jones fought James Toney, a lot of people had James Toney as a favourite in that fight. But Roy Jones, it was a shutout performance. You know, he won every round, he dominated him. And Toney at the time was number 2 in the pound for pound rankings back then. And it was just, no one expected it to be a shutout win for Jones like it was. And I'm not comparing him to Roy Jones at all, because Roy Jones is obviously at his best. You know, he's got an argument as being one of, you could argue he was the best ever. He's got an argument anyway when he was at his peak. But I think Bivol, from a boxing point of view, I think he's tailor-made for him. Is Beterbiev. You know, he's quite flat-footed. He'll stand in pocket. I can just see him boxing his head off from range, to be honest.
Well, Bivol has got that range, and he needs a quick start, and he's light on his feet. He can box quite nicely. He's nice and sharp. He doesn't, you know, he's good at changing the angles quite quickly. Doesn't, you know, stand in one place.
That's right.
Does he?
And I think
he's always on the move. But, you know, Beterbiev's going to be walking him down for 12 rounds.
He's going to be walking him down, but he's also going to take. I think he's going to be shipping a lot of punches as well when he's because I've seen him. It's like the way Yardy were landing on him. It were like, wow.
But the Callum Smith fight, you know, you're allowed one. You know, it wasn't his best performance. He still got the job done against Yard, and then you saw him against Smith.
He did get the job done against Yard. I mean, Yard ran out of steam.
Much better performance against Smith.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Yard ran out of steam, you know, in that fight as well. Don't get me wrong, Beterbiev were winning, but Yard were always in the fight.
Yeah,
he did run out of steam. But you know, you've got two guys similar. They're both power punchers. You know, they both went at it, and it was an entertaining fight. But like I've said, I think styles make fights at that level, and I just think he's tailor-made for Bivol, to be honest with you. I just seen it being a shutout win for him.
I just think Beterbiev will be able to get eventually over time. He might be losing every round, but when he catches Bivol, you know.
He's got the power to get him out of trouble. There's no denying that. You only have to look at his record. I just think I'm saying he's like Wilder, but you know what I mean. It's like he's more technically better than Wilder, but he needs to be perfect for that one split second as well. Yeah, but he's never boxed anyone like Bivol. You know, you could say Bivol's not. Well, he's boxed Canelo. He hasn't fought
anyone like Beterbiev, though, has he? Really?
No, I don't know. A lot of people had Canelo as a favourite, which I thought were mad. I just thought Canelo were tailor made for him. I just thought Bivol would be too big, and he give Canelo a boxing lesson.
I think he was closer than people think in that one.
Well, I think I don't know. I think he outboxed him, to be honest with you. He was just too big for him, and that's it.
There's weight classes, though, isn't there, for a reason?
It's like Lomachenko. It's like the only thing that's beat Lomachenko is size, going through the divisions. It's same with Canelo. He started off as a light middleweight, going to light heavyweight, and I said it before when we've spoke. In a way, he's no right to be fighting in that weight class, really, to be honest. And then saying that we're going to go to cruiserweight, it's just madness. But I just think it's a shutout win for Bivol. And
I'm saying Beterbiev will eventually, over time, gradually start closing the gap down, and he'll get to him.
That's why what makes it such an interesting fight, because you've got the guy who's an unbelievable boxer.
But there will be times in the fight where Bivol will have to stand in the pocket with him as well.
More than likely, yeah, because like you say, he's going to be trying to walk him down, and close that distance and let his shots go. But Bivol's got a good defence. He's got
And
a
I
good
just think
engine.
when he does get inside that, inside the pocket, and Bivol will have to trade with him at times. I just think he'll get to him, and over time he's going to catch him, and I can see an Artur Beterbiev round 10 stoppage.
Well, I think this is the only one we disagree on then. I'm going Bivol for a shutout win over 12.
So you're saying unanimous decision then?
Yeah.
We'll see who's right on Sunday. Might be me looking like I don't know what I'm on about, or it might be the other way around, but we'll soon find out.
Yeah, we'll see then. But yeah,
But it is one of those where
I think the other ones on this card, I think apart from them, I think I think the hardest one to pick for me is Wardley and Clark.
Yeah, or this one.
But for me, this is an easy one. That's just for me. I personally think he's going to outbox him. I'm that confident.
I mean, he might outbox him for a few rounds, but I just think Beterbiev catches him.
Well, he's got that power, but I just think Bivol's just that step ahead. I just think he's tailor-made for him. But we can only see on the night, can't we? Anything can happen.
Indeed, we will. And yeah, thank you for your time as always, Dan.
No
and
worries.
Enjoy the card.
I will do. We'll catch up after. We'll see who's right.
Yeah, we will see.
All right, mate.
In a bit, mate. Bye.